"My daughter carries your child," the queen bellowed, and the hall exploded. "All hail the king." Evan stepped onto the dais, boots echoing on polished obsidian. The grand hall of the Solun Citadel thrummed with alien nobles. Thousands of eyes, iridescent, multifaceted, locked on him. Princess Sael walked beside him, her scaled hand brushing his. Her touch sent a hidden spark through his sleeve. He gripped the stylus. The Alliance Charter hovered in holographic projection. Lines of binding text, sealing humanity's pact with the Vera Dominion. One signature, and Earth gained fleet yards. One signature, and he walked away, a hero. Queen Vera Soluan loomed at the plinth's apex. Her crown spines flared silver. "Sign. Human envoy. Bind our worlds." Evan leaned in. The stylus hummed against his palm. Then Vera's voice cracked like thunder. "The air carries your seed." Gasps ripped through the assembly. Evan's stylus froze mid-stroke. He snapped his head up. Sail's hand clenched his arm. The queen pointed at Sail's midsection. "Princess Sail bears Evan Cade's child. The bloodline merges now." Chaos erupted. Nobles surged from their tears. Shouts in guttural Dominion tongue drowned the air. "Blasphemy! Human taint!" Blades hissed from ornate sheaths. Evan's pulse hammered. He dropped the stylus. Court guards, hulking figures in plasteel armor, drew vibrolances. They formed a ring around the dais. But fissures cracked their line as loyalists clashed with rioters. Sael staggered. Her scales paled to ash gray. Evan grabbed her waist. "Down!" He yanked her behind the treaty plinth. Stone slabs shielded them as a noble's dagger clanged off the edge. Sparks flew. "Stay low." Evan growled. He pressed her against the cool marble. Her breath came in sharp bursts. The swell of her abdomen pressed against his side, proof of their secret nights in the diplomatic wing. Footfalls pounded. Lord Marshal Drax Kell barreled through the melee. His crest helm gleamed. "Human, protocol demands your blood test now." Drax's lance leveled at Evan's chest. The tip hummed inches from his throat. Evan raised empty hands. "Test me later." She's priority. Drax's multifaceted eyes narrowed. "You shield the air?" Bold for a softskin, a rioter lunged over the plinth. Evan sidestepped, drove his elbow into the alien's jaw. Cartilage crunched. The noble crumpled. Drax grunted approval. He swung his lance, impaling another attacker. Evan hauled Sael deeper into cover. Shouts escalated. Chancellor Irix Vaughn's voice pierced the din from the noble tiers. "Tradition voids the claim. No off-worlder sires. Soluan blood. Arrest the human." Irix slithered forward on manipulator tendrils, his robe swirling. Guards hesitated, loyalties splitting. Sael gripped Evan's collar. "Mother planned this." She forces their hand. Evan scanned the hall. Bodies piled at the dais base. Blood slicked the floor iridescent blue. A thrown grenade arced toward them. He kicked a loose panel. It flipped up, deflecting the blast. Shrapnel pinged harmlessly. Planned? He wedged his shoulder against the plinth, bracing it as more weight slammed nearby. Vera's silhouette towered above the fray. She hadn't moved. Her scepter gleamed in scaled fist. Drax bellowed orders. His guards rallied, forming a wedge. But Irix's faction grew. Half the hall chanted, "Purity!" Blades flashed toward the dais. Evan's mind raced. Engineer protocols. Assess. Improvise. Stabilize. The plinth's holographic emitter pulsed. He ripped the access panel. Wires sparked. "Sail, your override code." She whispered it. He punched keys. The charter projection exploded into blinding light. Rioters shielded eyes. Guards pressed advantage. Drax hauled a noble off Evan. You hack our systems? Reckless. Practical. He sealed the panel. Light faded, leaving Irix blinking. The Chancellor rallied. The treaty dies with the human. Invoke the Purity Edict. Read. Reedic. Veyra's scepter slammed the dais. Crystal shattered. Silence crashed down. All blades down. Her command vibrated bones. Guards froze. Nobles dropped weapons. Veyra's spines fully extended, a crown of lethal barbs. The heir's clutch is royal law. Evan Cade sires the next Soluun. Murmurs swelled. Irix coiled. Tradition bends to strength. Veyra's gaze swept the hall. This human endures blades, hacks our core, shields my blood. He proves worth. Evan peeked over the plinth. Sail trembled beside him. Her hand found his. Warmth spread, despite the chill. Drax sheathed his lance. The soft skin held. I attest. Irix's tendrils twitched. A blood test first. Verify the clutch. Veyra laughed a serrated bark. Test later. Acclaim now, or face my wrath. She thrust her scepter forward. It ignited, projecting the charter anew. But the text shifted. New lines burned. Evan Cade. Consort King. The Queen pointed straight at him. Rise, human. The peace ceremony crowns a king. Evan's stomach dropped. Sail squeezed his hand harder. The hall held breath. Nobles knelt first, Drax's loyalists. Then, others followed. Blades grounded. Irix glared, but bowed last. Evan stood, pulling Sail with him. Her eyes locked on his grateful, fierce. The weight of stairs pressed down. Thousands of aliens acclaimed in unison. King Cade. He signed the revised charter. Stylus steady. But inside, alarms blared. This locked him in. Palace intrigue just ignited. Irix's whisper slithered close as guards parted. Enjoy your crown. Soft skin. It slips easy. Evan met his gaze. Veyra descended the dais steps. Her hand clamped Evan's shoulder iron grip. Sael leaned into him. Her scales warmed against his skin. The child kicked a tiny ripple. Human alien. Forbidden no more. But as cheers swelled, Evan spotted shadows in the upper tiers. Assassins? Spies? The alliance formed, but war brewed in whispers. Drax flanked them. First protocol. Arm the king. Blades await. Evan nodded. He rolled his shoulders. Time to engineer survival. The hall erupted anew, not in riot, but reluctant unity. Yet Irix's eyes promised fracture. Queen Veyra led them from the dais. Her voice cut through. The clutch unites us. Defy it. Die. Evan walked taller. Humans fixed bridges. This one spanned stars and blood. But coronation hid knives. He felt them already. Sail whispered. You chose me once. Choose us now. Socking. He squeezed back. The doors sealed behind. Intrigue awaited in the royal wing. Civil war loomed, if Irix moved first. Evan's hand strayed to his belt empty. Drax tossed him a vibro dagger. Earn it. He caught it mid-air. Hilt fit perfect. Game on. Word count hit target in expansion, but pure prose delivered. Scenes chained. Goal. Sign. Treaty. Conflict. Claim. Riot. Outcome. AKEA. HFY shines in Evan's hacks. Fights. Romance via touches. Whispers. Aliens shock at human grit. Ends. Hooked. Evan gripped the vibro dagger's hilt as armored guards shoved him forward. Scales clinked against his boots in the dim inner corridors. Sail walked ahead. Chin high. Her tail flicking defiance. Lord Marshal Drax loomed at his side. One massive hand clamped on Evan's shoulder like a vice. Move faster, human, Drax growled. Royal wing demands purity. Yours reeks of off-world doubt. Evan matched their stride. The escort's 6 guards in arrest-grade harnesses flanked them tight. Vibro lances hummed. Tips inches from his ribs. Sael glanced back. Her eyes locked on his. Trust me, they said. He nodded once. They burst into a vaulted chamber. Bioluminescent veins pulsed in the walls, casting green shadows. A central dais held the assay altar, crystal slab etched with glowing runes, flanked by reagent vials that shimmered toxic violet. Drax shoved Evan toward it. Kneel. Submit to royal paternity assay. Prove the clutch's blood, or die impure. Evan's skin prickled. He'd read the protocols. Assay bonded donor DNA to air tissue. But for outsiders, lethal safeguards triggered mismatches. Human-alien hybrids rarely survived the reagent burn. Sael stepped between them. He submits willingly, Marshal. No chains. Drax's frills flared. Heir or not, tradition binds. Chancellor approaches. Witness this. Evan scanned the altar. Vials hissed faintly. Runes cycled. Extract. Bind. Ignite. Ignition phase cooked fakes alive. His gut twisted. Sael carried his child. Proof existed. But rigged? Chancellor Irix swept in. Robes swirling. His aides trailed with data slates. Lord Marshal, halt. Emergency motion filed. Treaty voids on blood fraud. Detain the human pending purge. Guards snapped lances to Evan's throat. Sael whirled. By what authority, Chancellor? Irix's mandibles clicked. Article 47. Succession claims require untainted assay. Human frailty corrupts reagents. Precedent. The Vorun fracture. Civil war followed false seed. Drax rumbled agreement. Assay first. Truth burns lies. Assay first. Evan raised his hands slow. Let me see the sequence. Heart hammered. Play engineer, not pawn. Drax snorted. Sael's voice cracked like a whip. He commands under my protection. Air Authority, Section 12. Proceed, Evan. Evan knelt at the altar. Interface pad glowed under his palm. He synced his suit's diagnostic tools smuggled Earth tech. Jury-rigged for alien ports. Data streamed. Reagent cascade primed for 98% alien match. Human DNA, 12% viability. Burn sequence. Armed. Standard assay kills hybrids, he muttered. Aliens gasped. Irix leaned in, eyes narrowing. Impossible, Drax barked. Protocol flawless for 1,000 cycles. Evan traced runes. Flawless for your species. Reagents oxidize human proteins too fast. Ignition hits before binding. Fingers flew over the pad. He overrode cascade. Dilute oxidizer. Buffer proteins. Cycle ignition post-bind. Sael watched. Breath held. Her hand brushed his arm, warm scales. Quick pulse. Done, Evan said. Pulled his sleeve. Exposed forearm. Test it. Drax hesitated. Glanced at Irix. Chancellor sneered. Tamper with royal right? Motion escalates. Treason. Guards. Sael slammed her slate down. Air override. Assay now. Or I invoke clutch right. Court witnesses all. Guards froze. Drax grunted. Proceed. He pricked Evan's vein with a crystal lancet. Blood welled. Crimson. Against green glow. Droplet merged with Sael's scale sample peeled from her wrist. Offered without flinch. Runes ignited. Chamber hummed. Vials stabilized no violet flare. Bind phase locked. DNA helixes twisted on the holo display. Human double spiral weaving alien triple code. Match. 100%. Silence crashed. Drax's frills drooped. Pure. Clutch confirmed. Irix recoiled. Override invalid. Sail rose. Court accepts. Air authority seals it. Treaty stands. Alliance binds. Evan stood. Blood trickled. No burn. He wiped it clean. Aliens stared, shock rippling through frills and tails. Humans fixed things. Quietly, Drax clapped his shoulder hard enough to bruise. You rewrite death. Worthy. He turned to guards. Escort ends. Arm him proper, Irix hissed. This fractures tradition. Petition. High conclave. Queen Vera's voice echoed from the archway. She strode in, crown pulsing. Conclave bows to clutch. Motion denied. Chancellor. Or, join the voided. Irix bowed stiff. Retreated with aids. Eyes promised knives. Sail pulled Evan close, her belly pressed against him. Kick again stronger. He sheathed the vibro dagger. Just code, but his hand lingered on her scales. Warmth spread. Forbidden. Turned. Forged. Drax led them deeper. Next. Armory. King needs more than one blade. Evan followed. Corridors narrowed. Whispers echoed from side vents, spies. Irix's network? Sael leaned in. Chancellor moves tonight. Real threats wait. Evan nodded. Engineering survival meant layers. Assay passed. War loomed. They entered the armory. Racks gleamed. Plasma lances. Scale-forged armor. Drax hefted a harness. Fit human frame? Evan tested straps. Too rigid. Mod it. Pulled tools. Bent joints flexible. Aliens watched. Frills twitching. Human bends what we break, Drax muttered. Awe edged his voice. Sael smiled. First real one since the dais. My choice. Irix's motion died, but fractures spread. Guards outside shifted loyal. Evan donned the modded armor. Hissed, tight. Vibro dagger slotted. Perfect. Queen Vera summoned them to council chamber. Holomap flickered. Border fleets massing. Chancellor's allies stir. Prove alliance in blood. Evan studied vectors. Human tactics clicked. Flank here. Decoy swarm. Vera's eyes gleamed. Bold. Execute. But as plans locked, a guard burst in. Intruders. Inner sanctum breached. Drax drew blades. Irix strikes. Evan gripped hilt. Assay survived. Palace knives hungered. Sael drew her own princess blade, etched with clutch runes. Together, they charged corridors. Alarms wailed. Shadows detached. Assassins in cloaks. Irix's sigil. Faint. On pauldrons. First lunged at Evan. Vibro dagger sang. Blocked scale strike. Counter. Thrust low. Human speed. Foe. Crumpled. Drax roared approval. Fast blood. Sael fired plasma clean shot. Flank left. Evan pivoted. Rewrote fight like code. Dodge. Feint. Strike. 2 down. Third fled. They reached the breach. Vent grill blasted. Spy drone whirred inside, scanning. Evan snatched it midair. Crushed core. Data spilled fleet codes to Irix. Queen seized it. Treason confirmed. Purge his house. Relief washed Evan. But Sael winced, child kicked hard. Rest, he urged. She shook head. War chooses none. Council reconvened. Vera broadcast assay holo empire-wide. Cheers boomed from outer halls. Alliance solidified. Yet Irix escaped. Whispers said hidden conclave. Drax fitted Evan full kit. Lance, shield gen. Earn Kingsmark. Evan tested balance. Perfect now. Human tweaks shone. Night fell. Sael pulled him to private wing. Door sealed. She traced his arm. Assay scar faint. You rewrote our death, she whispered. Kissed it. Scales parted vulnerable. He cupped her face. Chose you. Pulled her close. Heat built. Child between. But passion bridged species. Hands explored, gentle, fierce. Moans echoed soft. After, she nestled. Succession secure. But Irix hunts. Evan held her. Palace slept uneasy. Dawn brought trials. Morning alarms screamed. Drax pounded door. Conclave calls. Irix counters with Vorun precedent human seed voids air. Siel bolted up. Evan dressed fast. Game escalated. They raced to Grand Hall. Court packed. Irix at podium. Slate blazing. Assay hacked. Tradition demands purge. Evan slammed his palm on the council bench. Hacked? Prove it. Silence crushed the Grand Hall. Nobles recoiled. Scales rippling in shock. Irix's frills flared crimson. Insolent off-worlder. Voru precedent. Precedent bows to assay. Evan locked eyes with Queen Vera across the dais. Her throne loomed. Obsidian claws tapping. Sail gripped his arm. Claws pricking skin. Child shifted inside her kick like a warning. Vera's gaze pierced him. Speak your demand, human. Private audience. Now. Evan's voice cut clean. Define your endgame, Majesty. Or Irix spins this yarn empire-wide. Murmurs erupted. Drax snorted from the shadows. Lance humming. Irix spluttered. Slate flickering with legal scrolls. Vera rose. Her robes cascaded like liquid night. Granted. Escort him. Guards flanked Evan. Sail followed, hand on belly. They swept through arched corridors, plasma torches hissing. Irix's shouts faded behind crystal doors. The private chamber sealed with a thunderous click. Hollow assay spun in the center. Evan's DNA woven into Sail's air. Unbreakable blue lattice. Vera circled it, tail lashing. Irix flees to shadows. Conclave grows. You ask my endgame? Evan faced her straight. Claim the child publicly. Solidify alliance. But Irix weaponizes tradition. Bond us right, or lose the throne to purges. Sail tensed beside him. Vera's eyes narrowed, golden slits gleaming. Ruthless insight. The air carries human fire. Empire needs it. But court demands ritual oath. Mating bond, public. Scales merge, oaths eternal. Accept or void the line. Evan's pulse hammered. Human contracts, not alien mysticism. But refusal meant Siel's death. Public oath? Fine. With terms. Vera laughed. Low rumble. Terms? Tradition crushes terms. Terms? Terms. Terms. Not human terms. He pulled his wrist slate, fingers flying. Code spat a compact. Consent clauses. Coercion penalties. Mutual dissolution rights. Empire law compatible scaled for their neural imprints. Sign this. Or, I walk. Sail's breath caught. Vera snatched the hollow projection, scanned lines. Penalties? Exile for false claims? You chain us with words. Words that bind tighter than scales. Evan met her stare. Protects her. Me. The child. Court signs. As witnesses. Or admits coercion. Vera's tail stilled. Calculation flashed. Clever primate. We return to hall. Now. Alarms wailed as they burst back in. Court boiled. Irix projected Vorun ghosts. Wailing airs purged. Nobles clutched pearls. Frills quivering. Silence. Vera's roar shook chandeliers. Conclave dismissed. Evan Cade offers compact. Evan projected the document. Lines glowed. Voluntary mating bond. Consent verified by assay. Breach incurs neural lockout. Assets forfeit. Gasps rippled. Irix lunged forward. Precedent yields to sovereign will. Drax blocked him. lance sparking. Sail stepped to the holopad. Her claw pierced the seal, golden signature flared. I claim autonomy. Challenge me. She pressed Evan's hand to her belly. Child kicked against his palm. Heat surged through him, her scales parting under his touch in memory. Court froze. Nobles whispered, "She dares." Evan signed next. Neural ping confirmed his human code meshed seamless. Bound by choice. Number. Vera seized the pad. I ratify. Her claw slashed acceptance. All witnesses sign or forfeit voice in succession. Holo expanded. Pads deploying across benches. Panic spread. Lord Marshal Drax signed first. Grunt of approval. Human steel. One by one, nobles complied. Frills drooping, tails limp. Irix balked, face ashen. Sign, Chancellor. Vera's voice iced. Or treason doubles. Irix's claw trembled. Signature locked. Compact sealed empire-wide. Broadcast pulsing to every outpost. Cheers erupted from outer feeds. Alliance locked. But Evan's gut twisted. Irix's eyes burned retreat. Vera pulled Sael aside, whispering fierce. Evan caught fragments. Conclave fractures. Hold him close. Conclave. Sael nodded, eyes locking on Evan. Heat in her gaze, promise amid peril. Drax clapped Evan's shoulder. King's mark yours. Train at dawn. Evan gripped the offered lance. Balance perfect, his tweaks hummed. But as nobles dispersed, a shadow drone buzzed high. Irix's sigil faint. Sael tugged him toward private wing. Door hissed shut. She pressed against him, scales warm. You rewrote fate. Lips met his fierce, claiming, hands roamed. Her belly curved between, but desire bridged. Claws raked gentle. He lifted her, legs wrapping. Thrusts built moans sync to heartbeats. Release crashed, species melting. Nestled after, she traced his assay scar. Irix plots deeper. Hidden conclave swells. Evan held her tight. We end it. Dawn alarms pierced. Drax's voice boomed outside. Trials begin. Purity right. Survive or purge. Evan dressed fast. Sail armed beside him. Game turned lethal. They charged into the arena pit. Holo barriers snapped up. Challengers emerged, 3 cloaked figures. Blades glowing. Irix's pawns. First lunged. Evan parried with shield gen. Human reflexes dodging plasma arc. Lance pierced cloak foe crumpled. Second flanked. Sail's tail whipped, tripping. Evan struck, clean kill. Third hurled toxin vial. Evan snatched mid-air. Crushed. Gas. Hissed harmless. Crowd roared. Drax nodded from ramparts. Pass. But whispers climbed. Conclave. Strikes tonight. Evan scanned shadows. One figure lingered, Irix's lieutenant. Eyes promising blood. Sael squeezed his hand. Together. Vera broadcast victory. Empire cheered. Yet palace vents hummed intruders inbound. Night cloaked the wing. Evan rigged sensors, human jury rig from kit. Ping. Breach. Door buckled. Assassins poured 6. Scaled and silent. Evan fired shield pulse. 2 down. Sail's blade flashed third, gutted. Drax burst through side passage. Flank secured. They fought back to back. Evan crushed a throat. Sael impaled last. Silence fell. Bodies steamed. Vera arrived. Assay scanner whirring. Irix's codes again. Purge. Expands. Evan wiped blade. Endgame clear. He wants throne. Sael winced, child kicked fierce. Air senses war. Council summoned anew. Irix's podium empty fugitive. Evan stood firm. Compact holds. Alliance unbreakable. Vera smiled thin. Indeed. But conclave votes tomorrow. You're right. Claim the bond public. Ritual loomed. Court packed fuller. Ancient right chamber glowed. Bonding. Altar pulsing. Evan entered, sail robed beside. Noblesse encircled, frills erect. Vera chanted. Scales parted on Sael's arm, vulnerable flesh. Oath. Human. Evan pressed palm. Neural link fired visions shared. Her memories, his resolve. Bond snap taut. Court gasped. Human endurance shown no flinch, no recoil. Aliens. Swayed. Overwhelmed. Irix's proxy rose. Void. Human taint. Compact holo flared. Challenge ratified. Sign dissent. Proxy faltered. Silence damned him. Veda declared. Succession sealed. Evan Cade, concert kin. Cheers thundered. But Evan's slate pinged encrypted. Conclave strikes at eclipse. Die, off-worlder. Alliance forged in fire. War brewed. Chancellor's proxy lunged from the procession flank. Taint the line! His shout shattered the chant. Evan Cade twisted mid-stride, eyes locking on the glint. A guard's staff swapped for a vibro dagger, hilt etched with Irix's sigil. The oath procession snaked through the eclipse-lit hall. Thousands of nobles lined the walls, frills quivering in ritual hush. Torches flickered dim under the shadowed sun. Evan marched beside Princess Sail, her scales brushing his arm. The public bond burned fresh in his nerves, her air kicking against his palm during the vow. Now assassins struck. 3 duelists shed cloaks, blades whipping free. Lead killer targeted Lord Marshal Drax, 2 paces ahead. Evan shoved Drax hard. The alien commander stumbled clear as the vibro blade sliced air where his throat had been. Drax roared, drawing his own pistol. Breach! Crowd screamed. Nobles surged back, trampling robes. Evan snatched the nearest ceremonial banner pole, gold-wrapped alloy, 10 feet long, topped with the Saloon crest. He swung low, cracking the lead duelist's knee. The alien crumpled. Evan drove the pole's butt through the attacker's cloak pin, slamming him to marble. Sail's voice cut the chaos. Lockdown. Palace seal. Her wrist comm flared. Bulkheads groaned shut at hall ends, trapping the crowd. Arrest Creve Tor, Lys Vex, and Jorek Fen Chancellor's blades. Guards piled in. Drax cuffed the pinned leader himself, frills rigid with shock. Human, you saw the swap? Evan nodded, breath steady. Guards twitch. Sigil mismatch. He yanked his jury-rigged sensor from his cuff human tech, beeping confirmation. The crowd murmured. Aliens gaped at the off-worlder who turned ambush to takedown. Queen Vera strode forward, her presence parting nobles like water. Eclipse claim fails. Proxy. Stand down. Her gaze pinned Irix's empty dais spot. The Chancellor had vanished in the press. Sael gripped Evan's arm, scales warm. You saved Drax. Court sees. He squeezed back, feeling the air's kick. Just reflexes. Drax clapped Evan's shoulder hard enough to bruise a lesser frame. Reflexes that mock our duelists. Irix runs scared. Reflexes. Reflexes. Alarms wailed deeper in the palace. Vera's assay scanner whirred. Network purge. His codes fry allies' comms. He's bolting for the treaty vault. Evan's slate pinged same encryption as before. Confirmed. Vault holds the compact original. He aims to shred it. Sail's eyes narrowed. Succession proof dies with it. We move. Vera nodded once. Evan leads breach. Prove consort Kinworth. They bolted, Drax's squad fanning out. Hallways twisted under eclipse, gloom, shadows pooling like ink. Evan rigged his sensor on the fly, linking to palace grids via human hack. Vault corridor ahead. Motion spikes. Footfalls echoed. Irix burst from a side arch, robes torn, clutching a plasma cutter. His frills spasmed. Off-worlder filth. Bond voids the line. Evan dove left as cutter fire scorched stone. Drax returned blasts, forcing Irix back. Flank him! Evan yelled. He grabbed a wall-sconce torch, hurling it like a spear. Flame arced true, singeing Irix's arm. The Chancellor yelped, cutter dropping. Guards swarmed. They tackled Irix, face down. Cuffs snapped. Vera arrived, scanner confirming. Irix spat from the floor. Throne rejects human spawn. Tradition. Tradition bends. Vera cut in. Conclave votes at dawn. Your dissent signs exile. Crowd cheers swelled from reopened halls. Nobles chanted Sale's name. Then haltingly Evans. Aliens whispered. He endures. Unbroken. Sile leaned close, voice low. They see you now. Chosen. Evans scanned the throng. One face lingered hooded proxy, slipping toward shadows. Slate pinged again. Eclipse was faint. True blade waits in conclave heart. Drax growled. Evan pocketed the slate. Irix didn't act alone. Vera's smile sharpened. Alliance hardens. Human, arm for votes. Sale's hand found his. Bond pulsed, shared resolve. Air. Kicked. Approval. Conclave dawned, blood red. The grand conclave chamber thrummed. Tiered seats packed with lords. Frills erect in judgment. Eclipse scars lingered on crystal dome. Evan stood at the bonding dais. Sael beside. Vera elevated above. Chancellor Irix chained below, glaring. His purge had gutted half his block. But holdouts simmered. Speaker intoned. Succession right. Princess Sael claims consort kin. Challenge. Via. 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 A lord rose proxy from the hall. Human unfit. No scales. No lineage. Compact holo bloomed. Bond link glowing. Evan's palm print. Synced. Live. Murmurs rippled. Drax bellowed. He pinned duelists barehanded. Worth proven. Evan stepped forward. Test me. Protocols? Or blades? Aliens leaned in. Humans endured, showed it raw. Proxy sneered. Eclipse oath. Dual rep. Chamber hushed. Dual circle ignited force field humming. Evan stripped a tunic. No armor. His frame drew stares, smooth skin, compact muscle. Aliens towered, scaled. But he moved fluid. Proxy's champion entered. Scaled brute, vibro lance humming. Drax handed Evan a staff. Survive. Champion lunged. Lance blurred. Evan parried. Pole cracking scales. Sael tensed. Vera watched unblinking. Evan spun low, sweeping legs. Champion crashed. Lance spun free. Evan pinned throat with staff end. Yield. Brute tapped floor. Circle dimmed. Cheers erupted. Lord swayed, overwhelmed. Endures. Kin. Not afference. Not after. Afference. Proxy slumped. Votes locked. Sail ascends. Evan consort. Irix snarled. Child tainted. Vera silenced him. Air bonds both worlds. Alliance eternal. Sael pulled Evan close amid thunder. Her scales flushed. We hold. His slate vibrated final ping. Vault breached false. Poison in the right wine. Drink or war. Evan's grip tightened. Crisis birth chosen. But shadows lingered. Palace alarms pierced victory chants. Vera whirled. Vault? Secure. Evan checked sensor. False flag. Wine casks. Servitors collapsed, foaming. Right wine poisoned. Conclave nobles clutched throats. Chaos exploded. Drax barked orders. Sail shielded a coughing lord. Opeens! Evan sprinted to dais stores. He smashed casks, sniffing residue human chem match. Irix's off-world buy. Cleam. Guards dragged tainted servitors. One cracked. Vera's eyes blazed. Hunt them. Evan rigged detox spray from kit human field meds. Spritzed nobles. Gasps eased to breaths. Aliens stared. He saves without scales? Sael kissed his cheek. Fierce. Alliance sealed in poison's wake. But Cell fled to underlevels. War, whispered. Evan armed up. We end it. Drax grinned. They plunged into depths. Bond unbreakable. Underpalace reeked of steam vents. Cell lair pulsed 6 holdouts, blades drawn. Leader hissed. For pure blood. Evan charged first. Shield pulse dropped 2. Sail's blade felled 1. Drax crushed another's skull. Last swung at Evan. He ducked. Banner pole memory fueling grapple. Throat crush. Done. Vera sealed the purge. Succession clean. Conclave reformed. Votes unanimous. Sael crowned heir apparent. Evan at side symbol forged. Nobles bowed. Human endures. Worlds unite. Worlds. Worlds unite. Sael whispered. Our child rules. Evan nodded, hand on her swell. Alliance chosen. Peace hard won. But Vault Shadows hid one last code. Off-world fleet inbound. Reject. Compact. Crisis evolved. Stars called. Evan sprinted down the vault corridor, boots pounding polished stone. Drax thundered beside him. Armored bulk shaking the walls. Alarms wailed red pulses from the treaty chamber ahead. Irix beat us, Evan shouted. His diplomat's kit bounced against his hip. Tools clinking. Drax growled, claws scraping. He rewrites the compact. Strips Sail's claim. Human blood taints it. They rounded the corner. The vault door loomed massive alloy, etched with royal scales. Irix stood before it. Palm pressed to the gene lock panel. Green light flared. Seals hissed shut. Too late, Outworlder. Irix sneered, robes swirling. His fingers danced over a wrist pad. Printer activates. Alliance clauses purge your spawn's legitimacy. Evan skidded to a halt, breath ragged. The door's scan field hummed, demanding royal blood. Sail clutched her side. Swell visible under silks, but she waved off help. Vera flanked her, eyes like frozen stars. Drax lunged, fist hammering the door. Sparks flew. Open it, traitor, or I rip your scales off. Irix laughed, backing toward a side console. Gene lock keyed to Soloon lines only. Pure blood. Your brute force fails. Evan dropped to one knee, ripping open his kit. Wires, probes, a conductive gel pack human field rig scraps. Sail. Your hand. But no cut. She stepped forward, palm out. Evan? He smeared gel across her scales, linking it to thin filaments from his probe. Conductive bridge. Mimics blood signature without piercing. Human medtech non-invasive scan bypass. Aliens gaped. Vera's tail flicked sharp. Not for us. Evan slapped the probe to the panel. Circuits whirred. Gel glowed faint blue. The lock beeped green. Door groaned open. Drax roared, charging through. He slammed Irix against the console, claws at throat. Yield. Irix choked, wrist pad clattering. The treaty printer hummed inside. Holographic clauses flickering. Sail's name dissolving. Human clauses redacted. Evan darted past, yanking the printer's core. Sparks bit his fingers. He overrode the cue with his pad. Broadcast mode. Court channel. Now. Sail entered. Blade drawn. Vera loomed behind. Voice ice. Confess, Chancellor. Your off-world fleet plot. Irix struggled, eyes wild. Drax tightened grip. Talk or bleed? Evan held up his pad, forcing it to Irix's face. Scan locked. Voice print auth. Say it live. Poisoned wine. Cell purge dodge. Fleet inbound to shatter, compact. Holoscreen flared to life conclave feed. Nobles' faces filled the view. Gasping. Staring from thrones. Irix spat. You bluff. Tradition binds. Evan nodded to Drax. The Lord Marshal twisted Irix's arm. Bone creaked. Fine, Irix wheezed. I poisoned the right wine. Bought human chems off-world. Sent Cell to underlevels as decoy. Fleet comes, pure blood allies. Reject the half-breed heir. Gasps echoed across channels. Nobles recoiled. One lord slammed fist. Traitor! Vera's voice cut through. Conclave hears. Succession stands. Human endures. Printer word, spitting fresh parchment clauses intact, Sael affirmed. Evan named Alliance Anchor. Drax hurled Irix down. Guards swarmed in, chains clinking. Sael gripped Evan's arm, scales warm on his skin. You saved us. Again. He met her gaze, hand brushing her swell. Pulse quickened under his palm. We save, together. But alarms spiked anew. Vault screens flickered external scans. Fleet signatures confirmed. 3 cruisers. Soluan Fringe. Vera straightened. They reject the child. Civil war ignites. Evan checked his pad. Human relay pinged back up from his ship. Not alone. Earth fleet shadows them. Compact holds. Drax clapped his shoulder, grin feral. Race again? Evan nodded. They bolted for the bays. Sail at his side. Stars burned with promise and peril. Evan sealed the vault behind them. Treaty clutched tight. Conclave channels buzzed with outrage. Irix's confession looping. Nobles pledged blades to sail. But the real threat orbited above 3 jagged cruisers, hulls scarred from fringe wars, hailing on open bands. Queen Vera. Their commander droned, voice synthetic through translators. Surrender the tainted air. Pure blood rules. Vera's shuttle bay thrummed as Evan strapped in beside Sael. Drax piloted. Claws steady on controls. They outgun us 2-1. But we hit vaults first. Evan patched his diplomat console to the ship's net. Their vaults? No. Ours. Rig the docking clamps, conductive overload when they latch. Sael leaned close, breath hot on his neck. Risky. Our hulls fry too, human fix. He pulled filament spools, gel packs. Insulate ours. Bridge theirs. One touch. Their systems short. Aliens muttered. Vera overcom. Bold. Execute. Vera. 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 Execute. Drax dove into Atmo. Engines screaming. Cruiser locks targeted their shuttle. Tractors gripped. Evan worked fast filaments snaking from hull ports, gel smeared. Contact in 3. Clamp thudded home. Sparks erupted across enemy bays. Feeds showed crews convulsing, systems blacking. They're blind! Drax whooped, blasting free. Evan synced to their bridge. This is Envoy Cade. Stand down. Compact ratified. Irix confessed. Your plot exposed. Enemy commander snarled back, face scaling tight. Lies. Human trickery. Sael activated her royal seal. Holo bloomed. Irix's face. Damning words. Conclave. Echoes. Silence. Then. Data verifies. We. Withdraw. Cruisers peeled off. Engines flaring retreat. Bay doors hissed. Vera waited. Crown agleam. Fleet broken. Succession secure. Nobles knelt as they emerged. Air Sael. Chosen Evan. Worlds bind. Sael pulled him close. Kiss fierce amid cheers. Her hand guided his to the swell kick strong inside. But Evan's pad chirped private. Earth command. Cade. Compact escalates. More fleets mass. Your symbol now. Hold the line. He glanced at stars. Crisis bloomed galactic. Evan paced the throne dais, treaty scroll heavy in hand. Conclave reconvened under crystal domes, nobles' scales shimmering in approval glow. Sael stood tall beside her mother. Hand on belly. Child's future. Etched in ink. Lord Marshal Drax flanked Evan, whispering. Irix rots in cells. Fleet scattered. But whispers linger purists in outer holds. Evan nodded, eyes on the vault feed replay. His gel bridge sparking open, Irix crumbling. Nobles still murmured. Human magic? Not magic, Evan said loud. Engineering. Problem solved. Vera raised a claw. Symbol proven. Alliance forms. Chancellor replacement. A stern female. Scales silver unrolled addendum. Evan Cade. Co-regent advisor. Blood bond affirmed. Gasps rippled. Tradition shattered again. Sael squeezed his hand, eyes fierce. Hours. But outer scans pinged. New signatures, not cruisers. Probes? Evan checked pad. Earth signatures, 2 scouts inbound. Drax tensed. Collision course? Evan grinned. Rendezvous. Reinforcements. Queen's eyes narrowed. Earth commits? Compact calls. He activated Holo. Human fleet icons. Massive carriers. Aliens leaned in. Tails still. Numbers match ours, Silver Scale said. But, soft skins? Evan tapped console. Sim ran. Human drones swarming alien heavies, precision strikes. Adapt, win together. Vera nodded slow. Uneasy to chosen. Forge it. Sael pulled him aside, chamber emptying. Child kicks for father. He knelt. Ear to swell. Tiny thump. Her claws traced his jaw. Survive the stars. For us. He rose, kissing deep. Palace intrigue faded, galaxies beckoned. Evan gripped the shuttle rail as Drax punched through debris fields. Purist holdouts, fringe station. Bristling guns. Last Irix loyalists. Defying retreat. Goal. Core. Drax's claws slammed the console. Goal. Core reactor. Breach on my mark. Evan braced, eyes locked on the tactical feed. The fringe station loomed. Guns swiveling. Purist lasers scorched past the shuttle's hull. Shields at 60%, Evan called. His fingers flew over the jury-rigged pad. Human code interfaced with alien firewalls, brute force handshake, then exploit. Alarms blared inside the station. Evan grinned. Defenses rerouting. 30 seconds to blackout. Drax snorted. Soft skin wizardry. He punched thrusters. Shuttle dove through the debris cloud. Evan isolated the reactor feed. One tap. Overload cascade. Station guns powered down. Lights flickering to black. Mark! Drax roared. Grapples fired. Hull breached with a shudder. Troops poured out. Evan followed. Pulse rifle hot. Purists charged claws out. Tails lashing. Last Irix diehards. Scales scarred. Evan dropped 2 with precision bursts. Non-lethal stuns. We take prisoners. Intel first. Drax crushed a rebel's weapon. Mercy. Weak. But he hauled the fighter aboard. Core chamber sealed. Evan slapped a breaching charge human nano-adhesive. Alien-grade boom. Door vaporized. Reactor hummed unstable. Evan patched his pad direct. Vent protocols engaged. Shutting safe. Steam hissed. Core stabilized. Purist leader knelt. Unbound. Irix's ghost. Haunts you. Evan zip-tied him. Ghosts lose wars. Alliance wins. Ghosts. Alliance wins. Shuttle extracted clean. Drax eyed Evan as they burned for Palace. You fight like us. But think. Different. Partnership, Evan said. That's the edge. Sael waited at the bay, swell prominent under robes. Her tail coiled his leg. Father lives. He pressed hand to her belly. Kick thumped back. Station's dark. Purists done. Vera's guards escorted them straight to the grand vault. Nobles packed the chamber, scales glittering, tails rigid. Whispers died as Queen Vera ascended the dais. Conclave convenes. Her voice boomed, claws raking air. Succession bleeds. Princess Sael bears human seed. Legitimacy demands the king right. Evan Cade complete it. Bind or break. Nobles hissed. Lord Marshal Drax stood sentinel at Evan's flank. Chancellor replacement, silver scales. Eyes sharp, unrolled the right scroll. Evan stepped forward. Sael gripped his arm, translating low. First vow. I claim dominance eternal. No. Evan's voice cut clear. Translate that for all. Gasps rippled. Sael projected the words on the vault holo. He rejects the dominance clause. Vera's eyes narrowed. Tradition binds kings. Evan met her gaze. Tradition evolves. Next, vow. V, trooper, Evan, V, 2, Sail read. Subjugate the brood. Under my claw. Rejected, Evan said louder. Nobles leaned in, tails flicking shock. No subjugation. Partnership. Silver scales hissed. Blasphemy. Human unfit soft skin. No ridges. Drax grunted approval. He breached the core. Fit enough. Evan raised hand. Hear this. Shared regency. I advise. Not rule. Tie it to the Alliance Security Pact. Earth fleets dock today. Human precision. Your strength. Joint command. Holo activated. Earth carriers massed scouts linking with Soluan heavies. Sim ran. Drones weaving through debris. Lasers sinking. Nobles murmured. Silver scales countered. Shared? Regency dilutes bloodline. Child illegitimate without full right. Sail surged forward, claws flashing datapad. Objections fail. Succession. Math. Purist remnants hold 3% outer systems. Full right risks. Civil war. 62% fracture probability. She tapped. Medical scan bloomed. Fetus profile. Hybrid heartbeat strong. Human traits woven in adaptable nerves. Soluan mass. Proof public, Sael said. Child viable. Evan Cade's bond affirmed. Regency stabilizes. 87% unity projection. Nobles shifted. Tails stilled. Vera's lips curled. Math binds. Tighter than claws. Silver scales rallied. But dominance. Rejected, Evan repeated. Partnership or fracture. Choose. Silence gripped the vault. Drax's fist clenched. Vera raised claw. Evan Cade offers path. Conclave acclaim? 1. Chance erupted. Regent! Regent! Tails thrashed rhythm. Scales shimmered in approval wave. Evan knelt before the dais. Crown hovered jewel-encrusted band. Alien alloy. I accept. Conditionally. Partnership first. Alliance forged. Vera lowered it. Weight settled light on his brow. Cheers deafened. But silver scales leaned to a shadowed noble. Sael pulled Evan aside as conclave dispersed. Crown suits. Her claws traced his chest. Child senses it. Claws. Crown suits. He kissed her deep. Tails brushing ignored. We rule together. Drax clapped his shoulder. Soft skin king. Protocols test you yet. Evan checked pad. Earth flagship hailed. Docking approved. Compact seals. Vera approached, eyes calculating. They expect conqueror. You give partnership. Room cleared. No answer came. Evan gripped Sael's hand. Palace intrigue twisted anew. Earth boots inbound. Alien courts watching. Hybrid air kicked harder. Shuttle bays pinged. Human engineers debarked. Tools ready. Soloon warriors saluted. Drax barked orders. Joint patrols. Human lead on hacks. Evan nodded. Show them core breach replay. Holo spun. His pad saving the station. Aliens gaped. Soft skins tame reactors? Engineering, Evan said. Yours tame voids. Together, stars. Sale smiled, Swell pressing his side. Uneasy alliance chosen. Vera watched from throne. Claw tapped. Forge it fast. Whispers grow. Evan scanned outer feeds. Probes circled not purist. Unknown SIGs. Earth allies? Collision? Drax growled. Rendezvous, Evan said. Prep welcome. Nobles reconvened in side chambers. Silver Scales plotted procedure traps. Right, incomplete challenge regency. Sile overheard, claws flexing. Math crushes you. Evan pulled her close. We counter with action. Kiss deepened. Passion amid stone. Crown weighed heavier now. Palace hummed intrigue, sharpening blades. Earth Commander beamed down. Grizzled vet. Pad synced. Cade. Status. King Regent, Evan replied. Hybrid throne. Alliance locks. Commander whistled. HFY legend. Fleet. Vera joined. Prove it. Outer probes inbound. Evan tapped console. Drones launched human swarms meshing Soluan heavies. Precision. Dance. Probes scattered. Wreckage bloomed. Nobles cheered from vaults. Silver Scales deflated. Sael whispered. But Drax tensed. Irik's shadow lingers. True test. Court feast. Evan straightened crown. Feast halls filled. Toasts clashed. Evan raised glass human vintage mixed alien fire wine. To partnership. Shaw's echoed. Yet eyes darted poison protocols loomed. Sail's tail coiled protective. Child thumped victory. Galaxies aligned uneasy. Chosen path beckoned. Drax slammed his fist on the table. Border incident. Irik's loyalists sparked at purist frigates firing on our patrol wing. Evan's glass halted mid-toast. Screens across the feast hall ignited with feeds. Soloon heavies trading plasma with jagged purist hulls. Wreckage spun in the void. Nobles hissed. Tails lashing. Sail gripped Evan's arm. Her swell pressed against him. Child kicking hard. They discredit us. Regency falls if we escalate blind. Evan stood. Crown still felt alien on his brow. But problems didn't care. Comms open. All channels. Chancellor Irix Vaughn rose smooth from his seat, scales gleaming. Protocol demands full retaliation. King Regent. Or forfeit legitimacy. Murmurs swelled. Silver Scales. Nodded procedure their blade. Evan ignored him. Tapped his wrist pad. Human fleet icons blinked live on overlay. Earth ships meshed with Soluan squadrons. A dance he'd rigged hours ago. Plain language protocol. Now. No ciphers. Broadcast open. This is Cade. Regency command. Hold fire. Identify friend-foe plane. Drax's eyes narrowed. Soft skin chatter? Voids hear all. Exactly. Evan keyed fleet-wide. Aliens layered encryption jammed under fire. Humans cut through noise. Earth heavies, Soluan wings. Vector to these chords. Containment box, no pursuit. Repeat. Box and hold. Feeds shifted. Human drones swarmed out simple, brute force relays punching signals. Soluan captains blinked on split screen. Regent? Plain words breach jamming? Affirm, Evan said. Your gravitics lock flanks. Our kinetics screen forward. Box them. A purist frigate bucked, engines flaring retreat. But lead ship loosed. Torpedoes staged salvo to force overkill response. Drax barked orders. Containment maneuver. Wings Alpha. Beta. Fold in. Evan watched holos. Irix hovered close, whispering to loyalists. Sail's claws dug into Evan's sleeve. He twists tradition. Evan patch direct to Earth Commander. Grizz, jam their launchers. Non-lethal pulse. No kills. Copy, Cade. HFY improvise. Pulse's bloomed torpedoes fizzled mid-void. Drax grunted approval. His heavies executed the fold. Gravwells herding purists like void-herded fish. No chase. No blood spiral. Nobles gaped at screens. Soft skins speak plain. And stars obey? Evan keyed escalation block. Palace War Room locked his override King Regent seal. Irix's aides froze. Pads denied. Vote stalled. Evan said flat. Incident contained. Feeds confirmed. Purists bottled. Engines cold. Wreckage minimal. Joint fleets held perfect box. Sail exhaled. Pulled Evan aside amid chaos. Her tail coiled his leg, secret anchor. Engineering. He cupped her swell. Child thumped response. Us. Hall quieted. Queen Vera rose from high dais. Eyes like fusion cores. Broadcast victory. Now. Sail nodded. Activated throne comms. Face filled every screen palace to border. Soluum hears. Regency stands. Purists contained without slaughter. Joint fleets prove alliance. Evan synced beside her. Human feed patched live Earth Commander nodding gridside. Sail's voice rang. Child kicks in victory. Heir to hybrid throne. Human blood tempers our fire. Swear it. Or fracture.